I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Have you ever wondered why intelligent people sometimes behave stupidly? Have you ever discussed with somebody who you expect is highly educated and you just can't reason with him? It's like you are talking to a concrete wall. Particularly on social media, you will see people who are supposed to be educated and exposed behave stupidly and permit evil and talk like dump trucks. Anytime they open their mouth, it's offensive. There's a Greek word called Amathia, Amthia. It's intelligent stupidity. It's also defined as disknowledge. It's a philosophical concept that describes a person's unwillingness to learn, unwillingness to learning, despite the fact that they have the capacity to learn. They have the capacity to know better, but they just don't want to learn. It's this knowledge. Somebody described it as intelligent stupidity. It's usually a refusal to change their mind even when there is overwhelming evidence contrary to the opinions they hold. Why do you have Amathia? You have political Amathia when people don't learn, they're not willing to learn from the overwhelming evidence. They're not willing to change their minds. And we will see it, we are currently seeing it in the Nigerian discourse concerning banditry, concerning insecurity, concerning genocide, concerning the economy, concerning decisions economic decisions that have been taken, concerning the state of the nation. People are not willing to change their minds. They are not willing to learn despite overwhelming evidence, despite the education and their capacity, intellectual capacity. They are just not willing to learn. Amathia, political Amathia. Then you have religious Amathia, religious people who are not willing to change their opinions in the midst of overwhelming evidence, logic, theological evidence, scriptural evidence. Their minds are fixed. I wrote about the young man that died in South Africa, and I said the accident they had was preventable. And somebody suffering from religious Amathia said that, how can a Christian say that accidents are preventable? That accidents are acts of God. That when God says somebody's time for death is due, that the person will die. Amathia. So accidents are not preventable, diseases are not preventable, deaths are not preventable. If you go to the UK, you see defibrillators in the streets. Ambulances come on time to prevent accidents. Deaths. The Federal Road Safety Corps in Nigeria give lectures on how to prevent accidents. If you go to Shell or any oil company, they celebrate accident-free periods of operation because they prevent those disasters, prevent accidents. Accidents are preventable, Mumu. Accidents are preventable. He said, unless there's another power I'm using, that, I was embarrassed. And he's talking like a Christian. If you tell a Christian that prayer is not the master key, it's just a key, that Jesus did not start with prayer, neither did he end with prayer. Jesus started by identifying purpose. Don't you know I should be about my Father's business? And then he said, it is finished. And the Bible says, all things work together for good for them that love God, who are called according to purpose. The discovery of purpose by Jesus Christ made him to grow in stature and wisdom and obtain favor from God and man. You quote all the scriptures in the world, they refuse to change their minds. And so they are suffering from spiritual Amathia, particularly we, the Pentecostals, and some Orthodox churches. Why do people have Amathia? Because of the herd mentality, HERD mentality, group thinking. They find it extremely uncomfortable to think for themselves and to dare to think differently from the crowd. They find comfort in people thinking for them and them becoming echoes of other people. Then some of them have cognitive dissonance. They can't coordinate what they are seeing with reality. Their thoughts have blinded them to reality. Now, some of them have deeply held ideologies or religious views, deeply held. You can't change them. Somebody says that one of the reasons for this banditry and terrorism in Nigeria by radical Islamic militants is that they have been conditioned not to live. They have been conditioned to die. And there is this perception of poor people, people who don't think, looking for an utopia they will enjoy after now, no matter how miserable they are. And so they think that when they go to heaven, they will see 7 virgins. They don't ask themselves who gave birth to the people in heaven. What have the virgins been eating? And you have 7 virgins. So it is because of 7 virgins that you will delete people here on earth. And so they don't reason. You know that if you attack Israel on October 7th, the repercussion will be intense. You still went ahead. You know that if you retaliate, Israel will destroy your armament in Iran. That's why you see these Islamic militants, no matter what happens to them, they keep coming. They keep coming because they are not programmed to have a thought process that thinks about the future here, about raising a family, about taking care of themselves. So you see them in the bushes with all the money they collect. They are still dirty. They are still stupid looking. It is because there is this Amathia, religious Amathia, deeply held religious beliefs that you cannot change. That you cannot change. Socrates said that Amathia is the root of evil. Even the Nazis that deleted Jews, some of them know that what they are doing is evil, but because of the deeply held beliefs, they just continued. Even the genocide in Rwanda and between the Hutus and the Tutsis is just deeply held beliefs. In Nigeria here, there are people who have deep hatred for an Igbo man. He has not even lived in the East. He has not related with an Easterner. Just deep hatred. There are people here in the South who just have deep hatred for all Muslims. No, there are Muslims who are moderate, who are tolerant. There are Fulanis who are not herdsmen, who are pastors, who are professors, who are doctors. They don't behave like the ones you see in the bush. Deeply held beliefs. You just hold beliefs against people. Deeply held beliefs that if you have Biafra, that is an utopian state you will go into. No. It's the same people you see in Nigeria here that will go to Biafra. It's the same people that will be in Oduduwa. It's the same people that will be in Arewa Republic. Some people, anything you post about Nigeria, if you break Nigeria, then you have solution. No. Not Sudan and South Sudan, separated. There's still crisis in Sudan, crisis in South Sudan. Ngige, his vehicle was shot at in Anambra State. It wasn't Fulani men that shot at him. It was his fellow Igbo people. All those doing Ogwego and Itego and all, they pray, they show. They are Igbo people. If you come to the Niger Delta here, some of the kidnappers are Niger Delta people. We are not better than any other person. We're just the same spirit of Nigerians. And until something happens in your brain and you're able to reason well, you will just be deluded, and you keep that same spirit and you continue with stupidity and evil. According to the Greek philosophy, an idiot is somebody who does something and he doesn't care about the consequences on his fellow citizens. And then a stupid person, according to Marco Cipolla, a stupid person does evil and does not benefit from it. So one of the major problems in Nigeria is political amathia, religious amathia, social amathia. They don't learn. The person who did the last elections and brought us to where we are now, is he not suffering from it? They don't learn. We never learn. We never learn. You see the elections in Cameroon, they don't learn. Whoever returned Paul Biya as president, you are seeing that this man is old. You are seeing that he doesn't function well. You still want to continue with the system. You have Amathia. It's all over Africa. Same stupidity. Even this thing I'm saying now, you will see stupid comments here because such people, they will never learn. And they vex, so they vex.